Hello. So I'm going to show you how to do a glass shatter in Houdini. The tool I decided to work with is the Make Breakable button. So I went ahead and found a geometry of a wine glass and I made it breakable, and I'm going to show you how I got through that process. So the first thing you want to do is set up your scene. You want to import the model that you find that you want to break, and you can do that by creating a geo node, and then we're going to double click on that and import the object. After you do this, you want to make a ground plane, and then you're going to select the object and make it a rigid body object. You want to make sure that your wine glass is hovering above the ground plane so that when we press play, it falls and drops onto the ground plane. And after you've made your wine glass a rigid body object, you then want to make it breakable with the Make Breakable button. Reference is extremely important, especially when we're recreating things in CG, because if we don't recreate it the way that it looks in reality, people are going to be able to tell that something's off, something's not quite right, and that's the last thing we want. So lots and lots of reference footage. I found some really good footage of wine glass breaking. I took some screenshots here to show you. It's pretty fragile, and it just completely shatters into 100 tiny pieces. So at default, once we click the Make Breakable button in Houdini, the object's only going to shatter into about 3 or 4 pieces, and based on the reference footage that we just looked at, we need to get it breaking into a lot more smaller pieces than that. So the way that we can do that is by going to the Autodop network, and we're going to select the fracture params node, and then we're going to change that to 50. At default, it's at 1, so I brought it up pretty high, but I think it's the best setting that I found to make it look like wine glass shattering. And now I'm going to show you a little demonstration on how to do this. And here's the credits for my reference video. Okay, so like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tab in the geo node. Click on that, and inside the file, we're going to import our geometry. And there it is. And now we're going to create a ground plane underneath it. So with the wine glass, we're going to move it up so that it will fall and break onto the ground plane. And I'm going to rotate it to the side so that we get more of an interesting break. We bring it up a little bit more. So we rename this wine glass. And with the wine glass selected here, we want to make it a rigid body object. So we're going to go ahead and click do that. Now it's a rigid body object. And the wine glass is still selected. Now we're going to click Make Breakable. And this part's really important because this threw me off earlier. Under here you'll see this blue text. It's telling you that you need to press enter to complete, so you want to make sure that your cursor is over this window here, and we're going to hit enter. Okay, it says it accepted. So let's see what we got. This time it broke into a few more pieces by default. The first time I did it, it broke into about 3. So I guess it just depends on the simulation. But the way that we can change that, right here, we're in the Autodop network, and we're going to have the fracture params selected. And you can see right here, as I was saying earlier, the maximum fractures is up to 1. And so we can make it break into a bunch of tiny pieces. We're going to set it at 50, because that's just what I found looked pretty close to the reference that I had. So let's try this again. The simulation takes a lot longer the more that you increase the fractures. Houdini has to do a lot more math to simulate it. Okay, we're just going to stop it there. Play that through again. And I'm going to turn on play in real time. Alright, that shatter is looking a lot closer to our reference. And there you have it, a shattered wine glass. Thanks for watching.